Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this chilly winter morning. First off, my name is Dan Cormier, and I work on the WinField United Services team, helping build and operate some of the services that we're going to talk about today that our member owner retailers utilize and offer to their farmers. I'm a little bit biased, but I think we have an exciting and informative live stream for you, and that's really due to the two gentlemen I have here with me. They're great leaders of WinField United, but they also have an extremely unique perspective being farmers themselves. So first off with us is Jamie Leifker, the Vice President of R&D and Product Development. Jamie, could you tell us maybe just a little bit more about your role in your farming operation?
Yeah, so within WinField United, the agronomy team reports up to me, which really focuses on implementation in the field, and then all the research that we position to generate data and insights. I also farm in Iowa, northeast Iowa, where it really puts a little spirit behind the work that we're doing, as it helps us on our own operation as well.
Definitely. And last and not least, we have Jim Hedges, who's the Vice President of Seed and Services. Jim, same question. Tell us a little bit more about your role and your farming operation as well.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, so I lead the seed marketing group within WinField United, and we have, of course, Cropland and Armor, our proprietary brands, but we also represent great partnered brands like DeKalb, Asgrow, Brevant, NK, Credence. So really great seed business, but we also have built a service platform, and you're well aware of that, Dan. You work on it every single day, and I'm excited to talk about it a bit too. From a personal standpoint, I farm in Illinois with a young guy. I'm not a young guy, but it's right on the edge of southern to central Illinois. A lot of glacial in moraines, but also some really good ground as well.
Awesome. I once again appreciate it, both you guys taking time out of your day to jump on here. And before we get into the discussion, as a reminder to everybody listening, please drop us any and all questions and comments that you have. We'll get to them live during the interview. And if you're watching this after it's been posted, please ask questions as well, and we'll follow up even after it's been posted to all of those questions. So, Jim and Jamie, as I'm sitting here and I look outside in Minnesota, it's -10 out, and it's hard to think that this is the time of the year where farmers are really starting or are already well on their way to planting their 2021 crop. And with that being said, that's really the focus for our discussion today around services at WinField United. Is our two driving forces is how do we push profitability and dial back risk for farmers with everything that we're doing. So with that being said, Jim, can you explain what are services and why is WinField United involved?
Sure, Dan. So the service platform we brought about really because it allows us to do exactly what you said, help growers focus on optimization of yield, which I define as getting the most yield with the most efficient use of input dollars. Not saving myself at prosperity, but really focusing on data that drives insightful actions in season that drives high ROIs. And when you think about the service platform within WinField United, you can see what I call the product pipeline right here, where we have commercial products that have been piloted, just moving to commercial, as well as beta products that may become successful or may not. From a commercial standpoint, we have Secure, which is a really attractive financing program that gives growers ultimate flexibility around innovation. So it's a 0% financing program that also allows a grower to pick a la carte from any manufacturer, whether it's seed, crop protection, fungicides, adjuvants, the best product that's going to work on their acre. So it's a very unique financing program. At the same time, we can tie that program into our Advanced Acre Rx platform. And what that platform does is use a lot of data that Jamie's team works on, over 20 years of data that gives us the ability to predict outcomes on those inputs. So that allows us to help the grower continue to invest in their crop during the year based on what the environment might give or might not give. And at the same time, give a safety net or a risk warranty if it doesn't work. We're so confident in that data that we can insure up to 105%, or not insure, but warranty up to 105% of their APH yield. So it's all about that optimization of yield and profitability. And one thing that's kind of exciting, we just had an announcement from Land O'Lakes about True Carbon. Jamie and I work every day on this new carbon market and how we can help growers through this service platform be first movers in that space as well.
Awesome. I really appreciate walking us through that pipeline. I'm personally excited about a lot of the things that we have coming through the pipeline, and obviously those mature offerings that we have in place. You talked a little bit about the WinField United Answer Plot and some of the data that we get from the answer plot. Jamie, can you give us a high-level overview of what an answer plot is, and how does that factor into the Advanced Acre Rx program?
Absolutely. When I think about this program, I think about APH and I think about minimizing risk. And so for a farmer today, federal crop insurance is really how a farmer manages their risk on a large scale, on a formal scale. But what that doesn't do is take into effect or reflect their production practices, the inputs and the production intensity that as an individual farmer that they choose to initiate on their ground. And so what our programs do is they do just that. They're looking at and rewarding a farmer for the insights that they're implementing and how intensive that they want to grow to improve their APH and ultimately their risk long term. So our answer plot program is rooted in data. It always has been, and provides proof, real evidence for the recommendations that we're bringing forward, supported by the nation's largest applied research platform that's got locations near you, where we're pulling highly regulated data together from multiple environments, and then we've been using that to develop new products and develop insights on seed placement. And as we got looking deeper into our information, what we identified was there's enough information here, millions of data points generated over the last 22 years, that we could take that evidence and go to a reinsurer and provide a risk policy for a farmer where they don't have to take all the risk. And that's what's real new about this initiative and this offer, is that we're taking a production practice or a recommendation and tying the data around it so tightly that the farmer doesn't have to take all the risk. And as we approach this whole carbon market, you've got the industry talking about new practices like no-till and cover crops. Things like this are going to become even more and more important, so that the farmer isn't stepping out into an area that they're uncomfortable making a decision.
Oh, that's awesome, and great answer, Jamie. I mean, if I'm following along up to this point so far, I mean, Jim, you hit a little bit on the secure financing offer being 0%. That's really the foundation that allows a retail member owner to go to a farmer and say, hey, let's start this plan with a 0% financing offer. And oh, by the way, we're gonna put this plan in place that's been backed by 1 million data points through the WinField United Answer Plot. Let's put that together. And oh, by the way, we're also going to have a risk-based warranty on this plan because we're so confident in it as well. No, that's really awesome. Jim, I'm going to shoot this one over to you. Can you share a little bit more details on what the Advanced Acre Rx program truly is, and why a farmer like yourself would want to enroll?
Yeah, Dan. So the Advanced Acre Rx, as I mentioned, it's a portfolio of different risk warranty products. One is the Elite Rx. And what the Elite Rx is, it's a total acre solution based on that data that Jamie talks about. When you think about each component as part of the plan, we try to make sure that each component is adding an ROI on top of what the cost of that input is. So an Elite RX is inclusionary of the seed treatment, the crop protection, the fungicides if applicable, as well as adjuvants. So it's an end-to-end solution that, once again, it's all about driving profitability. Yield is great, but yield that doesn't come with added profitability that's not the basis of this approach. For growers who want to step in, maybe not with a total acre solution, we have the Impact RX plant health risk mitigation platform as well. And what that does is it goes off the data that Jamie also hit on just a few minutes ago, particularly in how corn hybrids, different sets of genetics respond to fungicide. So there's a huge variation in that. So just treating, broad brush hybrids, that's why you have inconsistent results on an ROI basis. We can really help guide, and that's why we're able to warranty these things, growers to almost a for sure predictable ROI on these type of products. And what that does, it matches the right corn hybrids with the right fungicides and adjuvants, and allows that grower to continue to invest in the crop, as I mentioned earlier. I think Dan went bye-bye, Jamie.
Yeah, he went bye-bye. He's talking with the shoot on his power cord.
Well, can you help? I walked through it. Tell us.
Yeah, I want to expand further on that, because I think the next slide as that comes up it's gonna show some yield data, and I want to preempt this slide by saying, look, everywhere you go, you're gonna see yield data on how products perform. They always perform when they show yield data, or they don't. But the bottom line is our system is rooted in data and insights that lead us to be able to deliver a recommendation that is more predictable. In fact, that it's predictable enough that we can de-risk it for the farmer. And so that all starts with the insights from our answer plots around the hybrid characterization and how it responds to different soil types. Does it respond to incremental or more intensive nitrogen management? And what is its response to things like plant health and a fungicide? And when you see, as a farmer, if you're looking at this and you see yield data, what you immediately need to go back to and ask the question around is, what is the insight wrapped around the specific variety on the acre? Because that's where we're starting, and that's the intellectual property that we're leveraging when we're going to the insurance company. But at the end of the day, what we're showing here is most of our programs we're basing them off of where your APH is on your farm, and you get an opportunity to choose the level that you want to invest toward, like 105% of APH or 100% of APH. Excuse me, and then your risk warranty is actually tied to that.
Oh, that's great, Jamie. I appreciate you guys covering for me. It wouldn't be a WebEx call without some technical difficulties on somebody's end. So, yeah.
Could I add on to something that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think that was really important, because so often we talk about, this product added 10 bushels to yield. This product added 5 bushels to yield. What we're doing is saying, yeah, we're adding on to the yield, and you're seeing significant yield increase. But what's really important is that above all the additional input costs, you're seeing that $29 to $45 ROI on a per acre basis. And that's going to be important. I know we're in a nice bump on commodities now, but we've got to harness every acre and find as much revenue as we possibly can. And that slide that Jamie just went through is the basis of the whole strategy around what the RX platform is about.
And if I have my APH and I can insure to 85% of that, I'm on my own for every investment that I want to make above that level. In fact, what I want to try to do is increase my APH so that I have more risk coverage.
Yep.
And so where WinField United is stepping in here and is essentially saying, let me help you build your APH, manage your risk, and we've got a warranty here that will help you step out there and try something new. Maybe you're looking at adjusting your hybrids this year due to things you saw this past year, and you're not comfortable stepping out and trying a new product or a new brand. This is an opportunity for us to help mitigate some of that uncertainty and certainly the risk if we work together on this.
One of the other things. Sorry, Dan, we're on a roll.
You're good. You're good.
But one of the other things that was really, and I know we went through that data set really quick, but this doesn't just work on the high yield environments. On the lower yield environments, we actually showed results that were as good or even better than the higher yield environments from an ROI standpoint. So from looking at my farm, I know some of the more challenging ones may be the place I really want to utilize this, because it allows me to invest where I may not have invested before and have that risk mitigation safety net.
Yeah, to having a little bit more confidence to take that leap on something maybe you had been thinking about but haven't pulled the trigger on. Jamie, we got a question that came in from Danielle. Thank you for the question, Danielle. And you kind of briefly touched on this with taking your federal crop insurance up to 85%. So her question was, can you use the Advanced Acre Rx with federal crop insurance?
Absolutely. In fact, we recommend it that you cover the core of your investment strategy, and then look at what are the investments that based on your seed choice that you could make to increase production, ultimately your APH, partnered with your local WinField United retailer who really knows the local geography. I mean, we're putting flexibility within these programs to do the right thing on the field. We're not recommending these products, straight from artificial intelligence coming from a computer. The data is delivered into insights, served up to the retailer, where we can tie this whole thing together. But bolting it onto a federal crop insurance program is real smart business.
Awesome.
That's an important point that Jamie brought up as well, because we've got a lot of data and intellectual property around this, but I mean, it really comes down to that local retail agronomist who understands the grower's farm, being able to tie that science and data into that art of farming and build these prescriptions.
Yeah, these are definitely not, as I listen to you guys, peanut butter spread prescriptions from the East Coast to the West Coast. These are local insights that are driving the prescriptions that are being put forth. So that's awesome. I really appreciate that answer. Jamie, I'll shoot this one. Jamie and Jim, I'll shoot this both to you guys. What type of farmer should consider this program, and how do they get started? If they're watching this right now, maybe they're mildly interested. Who should be interested in this? And I think you both touched on it a little bit, but maybe go a little bit more in depth.
Go ahead, Jim.
Dan, I think that I think all farmers should be interested in it because it's about increasing profitability. But I think it's the grower who's really saying, I feel like, I'm ready for the next move. I'm ready to look at the hybrids I'm planting and farm for the way the hybrid's going to react versus a genetic approach. So it's really about growers who want to invest in their crop to make more money versus not try to drive that additional growth in revenue. It's a business, very business type approach.
Almost like when I was listening to you, somebody who's going to farm proactively versus potentially reactively. I mean, obviously you're going to react to things that come up during the year, but this might allow you to be more proactive on the front side.
Absolutely.
I would add that 10 years ago, a progressive farmer was just one that was adopting new products first, and there was so much yield gain there, and there was margin available that you could just step out into those new products, and it was the right thing to do almost always. This proactive approach that Dan and Jim are talking about is how you essentially create connections between the insights that we have around how a hybrid responds to various inputs and the placement on the acre to increase your return on investment. And that's much different than what a progressive farmer looked like in the past. It's not just about trying new things, it's aligning the data on how the input responds. And that's what this program is rooted in, and we're stepping in and helping you with the risk.
It's really, when I think about it, it's having the ability to take that investment in the innovation. So Jamie, on your farm, your seed is probably the second biggest investment you make on an acre basis, particularly on seed corn, on an annual basis. So it's not, I don't want to save myself because I've just spent a lot of money on it. I want to know how to take that innovation and make it better and get a better return on that original investment as well as the other investments I make in things like fungicide, maybe 2-3 side or a side dress application in nitrogen, those types of things.
That's great. I appreciate. I'm looking at the time here. We're a little bit over 20 minutes, and I feel like we could probably fill up another 20 minutes. But I'd ask if anybody has any more questions, please shoot those in. Like we said, we'll get to them even after the fact. But I really want to thank Jim and Jamie for hopping on the call today. Thank you for all the insights and knowledge you guys just shared with us. I would ask everybody, if you have more, interests, or if you do have questions, head out to winfieldunited.com to learn more, and also work with your local retailer if you are interested in any of these programs. But with that said, I want to say thank you once again to Jim and Jamie, and I want to thank everybody out there who tuned in. Thanks.
Thanks, John.
See you guys.